All righty. How's it going, guys? Welcome to Bolt Banter. My name is Curtis Geffram. And here's my boy, Kendrick.
What's up, guys? Kendrick Lukenbach here. Bolt up, San Diego. It's hot outside, but let's get fired up for them Chargers.
It is hot. It is heating up. The season is coming our way. We have not as much to talk about today, but we do want to preview an important preseason game as we roll into the season. Starting off with news. So Troutman's looking like he'll be out for a while. He said I heard 6 weeks. What did you hear, Kendrick, on Troutman?
Yeah, so Johnnie Troutman had a right arm injury he suffered against the Cowboys. It sounds like he underwent successful surgery. It was a small fracture. He's targeting week 3 to come back. So that would be about 5 weeks for what he's targeting. From what you said, 6 weeks. That's about more of a realistic timetable. That we might see him start coming out to practice in week 3, but probably not game action until maybe week 5 at the most, which Johnnie Troutman's not a starter. He's there for depth, and so it'd be cool to have him there. But I think as far as week 5 goes, it's not too much of a concern.
Yeah, and from what I understand, it's a pretty broken arm. Like, it's broken.
Yeah, it's a fracture.
Yeah.
It's a fracture.
Which is gnarly for a big guy, too. It's not an easy thing to deal with.
Yeah, so, I mean, a month and a half, I could see it, definitely.
Yeah. And then also, we've seen very little of Melvin Gordon so far on the field, our newest running back addition, our first-round draft pick. But it looks like we might actually see him playing on Saturday, tomorrow, which will be great because we've seen very little of him, and everyone's very excited to see him, I think, or already getting really skeptical just from what we've seen so far. But I'm really excited, personally.
Yeah, man. There was ESPN was running a story today on their blog. Shout out to Eric Williams over there, covering the Chargers. Basically, I guess Melvin Gordon met with the press this morning, and someone had the gall to ask this guy, how come we haven't seen you catching passes? We thought you were going to be like a Jamal Charles type, catching passes out of the back. And he just straight up says, he's like, oh, I can catch passes. You wait. So maybe a little bit of some halfback screens going there for Melvin Gordon. And like he praised Danny Woodhead for just, being a master of coming out the backfield, getting those passes. And he said he's learned a lot from that guy. Brandon Oliver said the same thing. So Woodhead being the mentor to these young guys.
I love it. Hey, not a better guy around than Woodhead. So Woodhead's great at that. It'd be great to shed that off in other guys on the team as well.
Yeah, and we'll definitely talk about more Melvin Gordon as we move into the preview.
Yeah, definitely. Stadium update, not much to talk about. There's also the September meetings coming up where things will get more heavy. But I did see a random article about Carson City putting up a banner about having NFL come to Carson, kind of like Carson, the future of the NFL. But that's just a bunch of hype and publicity. So
San Diego, the current NFL city where the Chargers will be staying.
There you go.
Time to start that campaign. Get the banners going. Put them on the freeway.
Exactly. On the billboards, the freeway. Oh, man, it's funny.
I might cover up all those world billboards off on the side by a sports arena with "Stay Chargers." You got that Lakers ad that they had from when like Dwight Howard was leaving. Let's just put a Chargers bowl and then put "Stay" right underneath. Hang it up everywhere.
Stay. Period.
Stay.
No
dot.
ifs, ands, or buts.
Hashtag bold banter right there at the bottom.
There you go. Shout out. All right, so we'll move on to the preview. Tomorrow, Saturday, the Chargers will be playing Seattle. And they played them last year at the Q. Big story was just quality team rolling in San Diego. And, come to find out, the Chargers won. And they kind of handled them pretty well throughout the game. In my opinion, they played at a high level, and I think the score was much different than I thought it was going to be in terms of difference in points. Wow.
Yeah, I think when they played the Seahawks in the season, they won by about a 16-point margin. But like the big factor in that game, which a lot of people forget, was the heat, man. Those Seahawks players were not expecting how hot it was going to be. I think it was like the air, maybe it was like 95 degrees that day, but the field was like 111 degrees. It was hot down there. And like I remember Marshawn, like his cleats were basically melting on the field. And then, Russell Wilson couldn't get anything going in the passing game, and it absolutely played to our favor. You had, gosh, who was it? I think it was Earl Thomas. I think he checked out with some heat exhaustion there.
Yeah.
Like right in the middle there. And that was like right when he like checked out. Like you saw them Richard Sherman kind of gave off a little bit. It was kind of like, this young Keenan Allen can't really do much. And like he came up in that game. Ryan Matthews had like 80 yards rushing in that game. That was a shocker. That was a big-time shocker, and the heat definitely played a factor into that game.
And then I believe that's what ESPN covered when they hired like a whole staff just to hold shade on the sidelines because it was so hot. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, they had those fancy dancy fans with the water jets, and they got the shade coming off of them. It drops Gatorade for you at the bottom, little cold towel there. They had it going that game, man. And like going into this game, like I guess if you want to start previewing it so far, like I want to see how that defense responds to covering a guy like Jimmy Graham out there. A lot of people forget that Graham's a Seahawk now.
Yeah.
Jimmy Graham's a big part of that passing game. And like, we're going to see Lynch running the ball and all that, but how can they respond to Russell Wilson doing some play action, moving around the field, throwing it up to Graham, throwing it up to Doug Baldwin in the long range? How can these defensive guys get up for that? You see, I want to see, Donald Butler covering him. I want to see Perryman covering him. I want to see Jerry Tauchu coming up off the outside, Melvin Ingram coming off out the outside. See these guys getting a pass rush against an offense that is truly methodical. And then on the other side,
that can run too.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was that rumor last year, like Marshawn Lynch was almost a Charger. We almost traded Brandon Oliver and a 4th-round draft pick for Marshawn Lynch. That almost happened.
Yeah.
So like, very cool to see the Seahawks playing them. But like, as far as going with like the offensive side of the ball, like that's still a Legion of Boom. Like they're missing some guys out there, some guys from injury and all that, but that's still a top 5 defense in this league. And it's a big test for your rookie running back going out there. He's going to get some time. Phillip Rivers took last week off. He'll get some time under center. It's going to be good.
Yeah. And Seattle's a good team for us to kind of come out near the end of preseason, just getting settled and ready for the regular season, because they do have weapons on offense. And I don't know if they're a huge offensive team. I feel like they're very defensively centered, or they rely on their defense. So I think it'll be great too for our offense. We have some new faces in our main lineup, in our first string, to see what they can do against a good secondary and an overall really good defense as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like the players we haven't seen yet are going to play into the weaknesses of this defense. Their pass rush, their front 7 isn't what it used to be. Their main strength now is that secondary. And so that plays into, Melvin Gordon going in between the tackles, Danny Woodhead coming off some screens, but like also like you're going to have Keenan Allen, Malcolm Floyd on the outside, and they're gonna plug up the holes out there. You might get Keenan off some offset plays if Sherman's not covering him, but like also my boy Stevie Johnson coming out of the slot. You don't have a linebacker that's going to cover Stevie Johnson. You don't got a linebacker that's going to cover Jacoby Jones. And like if I don't remember if it's Malcolm Thomas or Earl Thomas that's hurt. It's one of those safeties. But like whoever that second string safety is, if Stevie Johnson's going up against him, you see the deep ball right there. Hit him on that corner route. I want to see this guy, man. I'm so hyped for this guy. I want to see one pass, just 23 yards. Just come on now. And Ladarius Green, man. Ladarius Green going up. Whew, weapons.
We haven't seen Chargers. We want to see him. We need to see him. We want Stevie.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, once again, every show, shout out to Donald Brown. APB out for your game. I don't know where you're at. Hopefully we see you out there, buddy.
Shout out.
Dude, I don't know who he is, but that young bug Dreamius, that guy's like the story of the offense right now, seeing if he can make the team off the practice squad. Let's see how he's doing. And like,
I'm excited for him.
Man, like the Seahawks aren't going to probably be able to stop Brandon Oliver. He's a starting running back contender.
He is.
He could be the man. He could pound the rock. It's absolutely crazy. Buffalo. It's going to be an RBBC, running back by committee. But by the end of the count, you might see Brandon Oliver with 12 carries, Melvin Gordon with 5 carries. Woodhead was in there on third down in the goal line situations. Like this running back core is very fluctuating right now, depending on what happens here.
Not a bad trio to have. I like all 3 of them. I want to see more of Melvin before I really make a decision on how I feel. But it's gonna be an exciting game. I'm really excited to watch. And a couple of my friends and I were talking about how long we'll see the first string out there. I know last week we kind of talked about maybe at one series, but we were talking about it more, and I was almost thinking we'd see the offense for almost a whole quarter. I thought that was kind of a fair estimate. And defense, I guess. What do you think?
Man, I think if they have one positive drive, that's all they need. I think it's the same thing as the Cowboys. Like, man, they went out there and they were 7 for 7, moving down that field, chugging along. And, I don't think it's going to be that easy for the Seahawks, but if you get one positive drive, you get one touchdown out there, they might say, we've seen enough. We're good. Let's get Kellen Clemens out there under center. Maybe Melvin Gordon gets 6 carries on that drive, depending on how he does. Maybe they pull him out, get Brandon Oliver out there. It honestly all depends on how that first drive goes and how they set the tempo. If they score, that's probably enough. If they don't score, maybe we see them again, try to give them one more shot. And honestly, selfishly, I kind of hope that first drive goes okay and they get a field goal out of it just so we can see a little bit more. Because it's they're teasing us right now.
Do you think they would go the more conservative route that you're talking about? I know that's what you're saying, but could you see them also going a full quarter in terms of stamina and getting used to playing a full quarter?
No, I don't.
No,
I don't. I think if that was going to happen, that would have been last week. And I think that's. Gotcha. I don't think that's in McCoy's plan because the way he's basically setting up preseason right now is focusing on practice, and so the reps they're getting in practice are also factoring into, getting their bodies ready for game stamina. And I like that because, he's trying to keep his players healthy. It's a response to health. It's a response to how these guys have been getting in situations. We see guys like last week we had Kelvin Benjamin and Jordy Nelson go down with ACL tears. That was absolutely crazy. So I think McCoy wants them getting their reps in practice. Their stamina is going to be ready to go.
I can totally see that. And they were talking about how, you and I know that in the past seasons, there's always been Chargers have been in holes because of injuries. But knock on wood, so far isn't too bad. There's nothing major going on. We have Woodhead. Didn't have him last year. That was a big, big damper. But so far, so good in terms of injuries. There's a couple guys that are question marks are coming back a little into the season. Or even Gates, who isn't injured, but will be showing up after 4 weeks. And then do you think there will be any revenge snaps or any matchup revenge things going on between Keenan and Keenan Allen?
No, not really. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Sherman even blew off this game and then just rested. I think he'll be out there.
Yeah,
but
that wouldn't surprise me either.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all if some of those Seahawks players just kind of on defense take the game off. Last game it wasn't Sherman on Keenan, it was Sherman on Malcolm, and that's how Keenan got in the scene a little bit because he had that young second corner that they had on the Seahawks. I don't remember his name right now, but they had that young corner on Keenan, and that was kind of their weakness that they exploited a lot with that guy. So I could see that matchup happening again. Keenan and that young. What'd you say?
I do remember that Keenan went head-to-head with Sherman. That's when he did a couple moves on him and stuff, right?
Yeah, I remember
seeing that.
at least 3 plays, but I also remember Sherman putting Keenan in his place. So I'm sure Keenan would love to, get some reps against Sherman, show him a little bit of those
Yeah,
moves. He's been working a lot on footwork. He's been working a lot of agilities. If you follow him on Instagram, that guy's been working on a lot of he's been working the ladders, man. He's been working the cones. He's working with speed a lot. He's getting a lot faster. And I think we're going to see that a lot more because he can be in the slot too, as well as on the outside.
yeah. Keenan Allen has started his own Hard Knocks version on social media for the Chargers. Basically, he's behind the scenes and will just like start a Periscope like on the bus to the game, or have a Vine of guys doing drills. Like he's always posting something behind the scenes. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, he's a character. That guy's a character for sure.
Yeah, just going and following him on all that media: Twitter, Periscope, Vine. I think he's on Vine.
He should just run the Chargers Snapchat. The Chargers should make a Snapchat account and then have Keenan Allen take the wheel on it.
Definitely just give him the phone, let him go.
And then like he gets the little like hoverboard like scooter thing in the locker room, just walking around with the Snapchat like, oh, what up? What up? Melvin's suiting up over here. Phillips reading the playbook. Phillips just like, get that goddamn phone out of here.
What are you doing over here? There.
Absolutely. Untying the bull tie in the corner.
Yeah. All right. So I think we've gotten enough for the preview. You wanted to make a shout out, right?
Yeah, man. Melvin Ingram dropping his mixtape today. He's been working on it. He's got a lot of connections with some music producer friends. This is a thing he likes to do in his spare time. So check out on SoundCloud, YPC Mel. It should be dropping right now, actually, as we're recording this. He was going to drop it in the 1 o'clock hour. So if you're listening to this when it's archived, it's definitely going to be up there. So SoundCloud, YPC Mel. Shout out to Melvin Ingram. He's trying to drop some hot beats. And, support the guy in that. Some people like to do about their passion. I give it up for him because all this stuff's about like his life, This is a way for him to let the fans, see a different side of him.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that a lot. I'm going to check that out right when we're done here. And I'll definitely post it on our Twitter and other social media so people can check that out. Alrighty, well, that's all I have to say for this preview against the Seahawks. Any other remarks for you, Kendrick?
Solid show today. I think we previewed a lot. It's going to be tomorrow, 5 o'clock. We'll see it on CBS. Sorry if you have DirecTV, you probably won't see the game.
Again.
But, yeah, again. But maybe it'll be on NFL Network. But, 5 o'clock p.m., tune in. We definitely don't want to miss that first quarter, see the starting team get some action, and see those young guys competing. Let's see if the defense really quickly. Let's see if the defense can beat 6 sacks. That's the number to watch. 6 sacks. Can they top it?
Yeah,
it's very easy. Just remember, make a mental note. 6 sacks. Let's see if they can beat it. See who's got the edge.
Let's improve a little bit more each week. All right. So once again, my name is Curtis Gaffram. Thanks for tuning in here at Bolt Banter, and Kendrick is here as well.
Yes,
we're signing off.
Stay cool, San Diego. Bolt up. Stay out of that triple-digit heat. Stay inside. Go watch them Chargers play some football.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hot one. Stay cool. Thanks for watching our video, watching our stream, and bolt up. Go Chargers.
Later.
Later.